A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away. I feel it. It is a period of civil war. Rebel spaceships striking from a hidden base have won their first victory against the evil Galactic Empire. During the battle, Rebel spies managed to steal secret plans to the Empire's ultimate weapon, the Death Star, an armored space station with enough power to destroy an entire planet. Pursued by the Empire's sinister agents, Princess Leia races home aboard her starship, custodian of the stolen plans that can save her people and restore freedom to the galaxy. We begin inside the Rebel blockade runner's main passageway. A Rebel blockade ship races through space, pursued by a giant Imperial Star Destroyer. An explosion rocks the ship as two robots, R2-D2 and C-3PO, struggle to make their way through the shaking, bouncing passageway.
Did you hear that? They've shut down the main reactor. We'll be destroyed for sure. This is madness. We are doomed. There'll be no escape for the princess this time.
Stormtroopers blast their way onto the ship. Followed by Darth Vader, the rebels don't stand a chance. Elsewhere aboard the ship, though, Princess Leia Organa puts a card into an opening in R2's dome and hides herself away.
R2-D2, where are you?
Darth Vader grabs a wounded rebel officer by the neck as an Imperial officer rushes in.
The Death Star plans are not in the main computer.
Commander, tear this ship apart until you found those plans and bring me the ambassador. I want her alive.
Meanwhile, R2 and 3PO stow away aboard an emergency life pod. He's verbose.
Secret mission? What plans? What are you talking about? I'm going to regret this.
Princess Leia is led down a hallway by a squad of armored stormtroopers.
Lord Vader, I should have known. Only you could be so bold. The Imperial Senate will not sit still for this. When they hear you've attacked a diplomatic...
Don't play games with me, Your Highness. You weren't on any mercy mission this time. You passed directly through a restricted system. Several transmissions were beamed to this ship by rebel spies. I want to know what happened to the plans they sent you.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a member of the Imperial Senate on a diplomatic mission to Alderaan.
You're a part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor! Take her away!
Lord Vader, the battle station plans are not aboard the ship, and no transmissions were made. An escape pod was jettisoned during the fighting, but no life forms were aboard.
She must have hidden the plans in the escape pod. Send a detachment down to retrieve them. See to it personally. Commander, there'll be no one to stop us this time.
Nice. Exterior Tatooine desert wastelands. The two droids have escaped and are wandering the sands lost.
How did I get into this mess? I really don't know how. We seem to be made to suffer. It's our lot in life. Right you are, R2. I've got to rest before I fall apart. My joints are almost frozen. What mission? What are you talking about? I've had just about enough of you. Go that way. You'll be malfunctioning within a day, you nearsighted scrap pile.
3PO and R2 part ways in search of help.
That malfunctioning little twerp. This is all his fault. He tricked me into going this way, but he'll do no better.
A glint of reflected light in the distance reveals an object moving towards him.
Wait, what's that? A transport. I'm saved.
Exterior Tatooine deserts, the Lars homestead in the afternoon. He was not saved. 3PO finds himself imprisoned by Jawas, junk traders of the Dune Sea. He's reunited with his frenemy, R2-D2, who's also been captured by the Jawas in their giant desert sandcrawler. The sandcrawler parks outside a moisture farm. The droids are displayed outside, waiting to be sold. The farmer, Owen Lars, inspects each droid and is followed by his angsty teen nephew, Luke Skywalker. A voice calls out. Luke sees his Aunt Beru standing in the courtyard.
Luke! Tell Owen that if he gets a translator to be sure, it speaks Baji.
Okay, looks like we won't have much choice, but I'll remind him.
Owen and Luke survey the droids on sale along with a Jawa salesman type dude.
What I really need is a droid that understands the binary language of moisture vaporators. Get off.
Vaporators? Sir, my first job was programming binary load. Lifters. Very similar to your vaporators, you could say.
Do you speak Bokchi?
Of course I can, sir. It's like a second language for me. I'm as fluent in Bocce.
All right. Now you shut up, okay? I'll take this one.
He pays the Jawa salesman while Luke takes 3PO home. As they walk away, R2 makes agitated noises. And 3PO looks back at him and decides to save his bro droid.
Excuse me, sir, but that RT unit is in prime condition. A real bargain. I've worked with him before. I'm sure you'll be very pleased.
Luke nods and calls out to Uncle Owen.
Uncle Owen! Uncle, what about that one?
And fine. Let's get the blue one also.
R2-D2 is saved and the Jawa salesman gets double commission. What a great day.
Yeah.
Inside Lars' homestead in the garage area, 3PO lowers himself into an oil bath while R2 plugs himself into the wall pot to charge. Luke is cleaning debris off of R2.
Wow. You've got a lot of carbon scoring here. It looks like you guys have seen a lot of action.
Yes. With all we've been through, sometimes I'm amazed we are in as good condition as we are. What with the rebellion and all.
You've heard of the rebellion against the Empire? Have you been in battles?
Several, I think. Though there's not much to tell. I'm not much more than an interpreter. And not very good at telling stories. Well, not at making them interesting anyways.
Luke is bored by 3PO's rambling and goes back to working on R2.
Well, my little friend, you've got a little something jammed in you.
A hologram of Leia beams out of R2-D2.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
What's this?
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
Oh, he says it's nothing, sir. Merely a malfunction. Old data or data. Paid no mind.
Hey, who is she? She's beautiful.
I'm afraid I'm not quite sure, sir.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Help me. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I think she was a passenger on a last voyage. A person of some importance, sir, I believe. Our captain was attached to.
Is there more of this recording?
He says it's the property of Obi-Wan Kenobi, a resident of these parts, and it's a private message only for him.
I don't know anyone named Obi-Wan. But old Ben Kenobi lives out beyond the Dune Sea. He's kind of a strange old hermit.
Luke, come to dinner.
All right. I'm coming, Aunt Beru.
Inside the Lars' homestead in the dining area, Luke, Owen, and Beru sit down to a big old bowl of cereal and blue milk, farm to table.
You know, I think that R2 unit we bought might have been stolen.
What makes you think that?
Uncle, he says he belongs to someone called Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Owen is greatly alarmed at the mention of his name but manages to control himself.
You know who he's talking about? I thought he might have meant old Ben.
No. That old man was just a crazy old wizard. Tomorrow, I'll tell you, take that R2 unit to Anchorhead and have its memory completely flushed. That's the end of it. It belongs to us now.
Yeah, but what if this Obi-Wan comes looking for it?
No, he won't. Listen to what I am saying. I don't think he exists anymore. Anyway, he died around the same time as your father.
He knew my father?
I told you now, forget it. You only are concerned now for tomorrow. Your only concern is to prepare the new droids for tomorrow. Get out.
Luke pushes his half-eaten plate of food aside and stands.
Where are you going?
It looks like I'm going nowhere. I have to finish cleaning those droids.
Exterior Tatooine, the twin suns overlooking Lars's homestead in the evening. The giant twin suns of Tatooine slowly disappear behind a distant dune range. Luke stands watching them for a few moments. And then, reluctantly turns to the garage, only to find R2's missing. He sets off in his land speeder, along with C-3PO to find him. After searching, they find him, in the middle of a rock canyon. In the exterior of Tatooine on the rock canyon floor, Luke and 3PO rush to R2's side. As they prepare to take him back home, they hear the sound of Tusken Raiders. And out of nowhere, a Tusken jumps up in front of Luke and knocks him unconscious. R2 hides away in the shadow of a nearby cave. The Tusken Raiders hear the sound of a strange roar and run away. A cloaked figure appears and leans over Luke.
Hello there. Come here, my little friend. Don't be afraid.
Luke wakes up confused.
What happened?
Rest easy, son. You've had a busy day. Don't be you're fortunate you're still in one piece.
Aren't you Ben? Ben Kenobi? Oh my god, I'm so excited to see you.
Tell me, young Luke, what brings you out here this far?
This stupid little droid. I think he's searching for his former master. I've never seen such devotion in a droid before. He claims to be the property of an Obi-Wan Kenobi. Do you know who he's talking about?
Obi-Wan Kenobi? Obi-Wan? Now that's a name I haven't heard in a long time. A long time.
I think my uncle knew him. He said he was dead.
Oh, he's not dead. Not yet.
You know him?
Well, of course. Of course I know him. He's me. I haven't gone by the name Obi-Wan since, the 27th of May on Disney+. Before you were born, rather.
Then, the droid does belong to you.
Don't seem to remember you ever owning a droid. Very interesting.
Inside Kenobi's dwelling, Luke is repairing 3PO, whose arm was torn off by the Tuskens. He's in mid-conversation with Obi-Wan, who has just told him that his father was in the wars.
My father didn't fight in the wars. He was a navigator on a space freighter.
That's what your uncle told you? He didn't hold with your father's ideals. Thought he should have stayed here and not gotten involved.
You fought in the Clone Wars?
Yes. I was once a Jedi Knight. The same as your father.
I wish I knew him.
He was the best star pilot in the galaxy and a cunning warrior. I understand you've become quite a good pilot yourself.
He smiles.
And he was a good friend. Which reminds me, I have something here for you.
He brings out an old lightsaber hilt.
Your father wanted you to have this when you were old enough. But your uncle wouldn't allow it. He feared you might follow old Obi-Wan on some damn fool idealistic crusade like your father did.
Ben hand Luke's the saber.
Luke? Uncle,
Yeah, what is this?
your father's lightsaber. This is a weapon of a Jedi Knight, not as clumsy or as random as a blaster. An elegant weapon for a more civilized time. For over 1,000 generations, the Jedi Knights were the guardians of peace and justice in the Old Republic. Before the dark times, before the Empire.
Luke hasn't really been listening to anything.
How did my father die?
A young Jedi named Darth Vader. Stop it! Who was a pupil of mine until he turned to evil, helped the Empire hunt down and destroy the Jedi Knights. He betrayed and murdered your father. Now the Jedi are all but extinct. Vader was seduced by the dark side of the Force.
The Force?
Well, the Force is what gives you, or rather gives the Jedi, his power. It's an energy field created by all living things. It surrounds us and penetrates us. Not in a weird way. It binds the galaxy together. Now let's see if we can't figure out what you are, you little friend, or my little friend, and where you come from.
Leia's hologram appears and we see the rest of her message.
General Kenobi, years ago you served my father in the Clone Wars. Now he begs you to help him in his struggle against the Empire. I regret that I am unable to present my father's request to you in person, but my ship has fallen under attack, and I'm afraid my mission to bring you to Alderaan has failed. I have placed information vital to the survival of the rebellion into the memory systems of this R2 unit. My father will know how to retrieve it. You must see this droid safely delivered to him on Alderaan. This is our most desperate hour. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
The message ends. Obi-Wan smiles at Luke gently. Luke has no idea what's going on.
You must learn the ways of the Force if you're to come with me into Alderaan.
Alderaan.
It's next to,
I'm not going to Alderaan. I've got to go home.
it's next to car, by the way. I'm just like letting you know. I need your help, Luke. She needs your help. I'm getting too old for this kind of thing.
What? I can't get involved. I've got work to do. It's not like I like the Empire. I hate it. But there's nothing I can do about it right now. It's just so long from here. Uber also is not there.
That's your uncle talking.
My uncle, how am I going to explain it to him?
Learn about the Force, Luke.
Look, I can only take you as far as Anchorhead. Then you can get a transport there, go to Mos Eisley or wherever you're going.
You must do what you feel is right, of course.
Inside the Death Star conference room, aboard the Death Star, 8 Imperial senators and generals sit around a black conference table. Commander Tagge, a young, slimy-looking general, is speaking.
Until this battle station is fully operational, we are vulnerable. The Rebel Alliance is too well equipped. They're more dangerous than you realize.
Dangerous to your Starfleet, Commander, not to this battle station.
Enter Grand Moff Tarkin, governor of the Imperial Outland regions, and with him, Darth Vader.
Fear will keep the local systems in line. Fear of this battle station.
And what of the rebellion?
The plans you refer to will soon be back in our hands.
Any attack made by the rebels against the station would be useless. No matter what technical data they've obtained, this station is now the ultimate power in the universe. I suggest we use it.
Don't be too proud of this technological terror you've constructed. The ability to destroy a planet is insignificant next to the power of the Force.
Don't try to frighten us with your sorcerer's ways, Lord Vader. Your sad devotion to this ancient religion has not helped you conjure up the stolen data tapes or given you clairvoyance enough to find the rebels hidden
Morty chokes and starts to turn blue under Vader's spell.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Enough of this, Vader. Release him.
As you wish.
This bickering is pointless. Lord Vader will provide us with the location of the rebel fortress by the time this station is operational. We will then crush the rebellion with one swift stroke.
Back on Tatooine at the Lars homestead, Luke returns home to find his aunt and uncle lying dead at their doorstep, killed by Imperial stormtroopers. Obi-Wan solemnly approaches.
There's nothing you could have done, Luke. Had you been here, you would have been killed too. And the droids would be in the hands of the Empire.
I want to come with you to Alderaan.
Goodbye.
There's nothing here for me now. I want to learn the ways of the Force.
Very good.
I want to become a Jedi like my papa.
On Tatooine, Mos Eisley, Street 55. Did you know that? I didn't. Luke and Ben, along with R2-D2 and C-3PO, arrive at Mos Eisley Spaceport. Here, they hope to find a ship that can take them to Alderaan.
Mos Eisley Spaceport. You will never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy. We must be cautious.
Their land speeder is stopped by a stormtrooper guard. He questions Luke.
How long have you had these droids? Let me see your identification.
Luke nervously fumbles to find his ID. Obi-Wan looks at the stormtrooper and gently waves his hand, and in a controlled voice, he says,
You don't need to see his identification.
We don't need to see his identification.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
These are not the droids we're looking for.
Move along.
Move along, move along.
Inside the Mos Eisley Cantina. The gang enters the cantina. A seedy-looking bar filled with weird and exotic alien creatures. One-eyed, thousand-eyed, slimy, furry, scaly, tentacle, clawed creatures all huddled over drinks. Obi-Wan is standing next to Chewbacca, a 200-year-old Wookiee, an 8-foot-tall creature resembling a huge grey monkey with fangs.
Chewbacca here is first mate on a ship that might suit our needs.
Strange creatures play exotic music. That's you. As Luke follows Ben and Chewbacca to a booth where Han Solo is sitting. Han is a tough, roguish star pilot about 30 years old.
Han Solo, captain of the Millennium Falcon. Chewie here tells me that you're looking for passage to the Alderaan system.
Yes, indeed. If it's a fast ship.
You serious? What, you've never heard of the Millennium Falcon?
Should I have?
It's the ship that made the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs. So what if parsec is a measure of distance? That is something that people will get into for 30 years on forums. But the point is, she's fast enough for you, old man. What's the cargo?
Only passengers. Myself, the boy, 2 droids, and no questions asked.
Ganja kharida na? What is it? Some kind of local trouble?
Let's just say we'd like to avoid any imperial entanglements.
Well, that's gonna cost you something extra. Like 10,000 extra.
10,000? Nah. Man, what? We could almost buy our own ship for that.
Yeah, well, who's gonna fly it, kid? You?
You bet I could. Yeah, I'm not such a bad pilot myself. We don't have to sit there and listen.
We could pay you 2,000 now, plus 15 when we reach Alderaan.
Oh, okay. You guys got yourself a deal. We'll leave as soon as you're ready.
As Han is about to leave, Greedo, a slimy, green-faced alien with a short trunk nose, appears. He pokes a gun in Han's side.
Going somewhere solo?
This shit again. Okay, let's do this, McClunky.
Greedo falls to the ground.
He shot!
I'm not going to touch that. Inside the Death Star control room, Darth Vader and Grand Moff Tarkin are discussing how to get Princess Leia to cooperate.
Her resistance to mind probe is considerable.
Perhaps she would respond to an alternative form of persuasion.
What do you mean?
I think it's time we demonstrate the full power of this station. Set course for Princess Leia's home planet of Alderaan.
Back on Mos Eisley Spaceport Docking Bay 94, resting in the middle of the docking bay is a large, round, beat-up hunk of junk that could only loosely be called a starship. Luke looks at it derisively.
What a piece of junk.
Hey, she may not look like much, but she's got it where it counts, kid.
Inside the Death Star control room, the Death Star looms over the planet Alderaan. Vader and two stormtroopers enter with Princess Leia. Her hands are bound.
Princess Leia, before your execution, I would like you to be my guest at a ceremony that will make this battle station operational. Since you are reluctant to provide us with the location of the rebel base, I've chosen to test this station's destructive power on your home planet of Alderaan.
No, Alderaan is peaceful. We have no weapons. You can't possibly.
The Death Star slowly fires up. It takes a while. And then eviscerates Alderaan in seconds. It's a big planet. It takes some time. Back on the Millennium Falcon in the central holding area, Obi-Wan watches Luke practice the lightsaber with a small droid. He suddenly falters, seeming faint.
Are you alright? What's wrong?
I felt a great disturbance in the Force. As if millions of voices suddenly cried out in terror and were suddenly silenced. I fear something terrible has happened.
Han Solo struts in with that big dick energy, while Luke continues practicing with the lightsaber.
Yo, uncle, acidity.
Remember, a Jedi can feel the Force flowing through him.
The Force? Hokey religions and ancient weapons are no match for a good blaster at your side, kid.
You don't believe in the Force, do you?
Kid, I've flown from one side of this galaxy to the other, and over the next 400 films, I'm gonna do it 400 more times. But I've seen a lot of strange stuff, but I have never seen anything to make me believe that there's one all-powerful force controlling everything. There's no mystical energy field that controls my destiny.
Ben smiles quietly, while Han notices the control panel.
Alright, looks like we're coming up on Alderaan.
Space debris everywhere. As Han drops the Falcon out of light speed, asteroids begin battering the sides of the ship violently.
Up! What the? Up! We've come out of hyperspace into a meteor shower. Some kind of asteroid collision. It's not on any of the charts.
What's going on?
I literally just said. Our position is correct, except there's no Alderaan.
I can't help it. I only have to ask questions. What do you mean? Where is it?
Destroyed by the Empire.
Starfleet couldn't destroy the whole planet. It'd take 1,000 ships with more firepower than I.
A signal starts flashing on the control panel and a muffled alarm starts humming.
There's another ship coming in.
It's an Imperial fighter.
Look at him. He's headed for that small moon.
That's no moon. It's a space station.
It's too big to be a space station.
I have a very bad feeling about this.
You know, people are going to scream that line to you when you go to get coffee for the next 40 years. But we're caught in a tractor beam. It's pulling us in.
There's something that you got to do.
There's nothing I can do about it, kid. I'm going to have to shut down.
The Falcon gets slowly pulled into the main docking hangar aboard the Death Star. In the Death Star's main office, did you know they had an office? In the Death Star's office, Vader responds to the intercom system.
We've captured the freighter entering the remains of Alderaan system. Its marking matches those of the ship that blasted its way out of Mos Eisley.
They must be trying to return the stolen plans to the princess. She may yet be of some use to us.
There's no one on board, sir.
Did you find any droids?
No, sir. If there were any on board, they must have also jettisoned.
Wow, Vader really cares about those droids, almost as though he built them.
Send a scanning crew on board. I want every part of this ship checked.
Sir, yes, sir!
I sense something. A presence I haven't felt since. ...
Back in the Millennium Falcon hallway, the ship seems deserted. 2 floor panels suddenly pop up, revealing Han, Luke, and Ben.
Boy, it's lucky you had 3 compartments.
I used them for smuggling. I never thought I'd be smuggling myself in them. This is ridiculous. Even if I could take off, I'd never get past the tractor beam.
Leave that to me.
Damn fool. I knew you were going to say that.
Who's more foolish? The fool or the fool who follows him?
Imperial crewmen carry a heavy box on board the ship, past 2 stormtroopers guarding the entrance. The crewmen enter the Millennium Falcon and a loud crashing sound is followed by a voice calling out to the guard below.
Hey, down there! Could you give us a hand with this?
The stormtroopers enter the ship. Back in the Death Star forward bay command office, from an overlooking guard tower, an officer notices his men missing from their post beside the Falcon. Inside the Falcon, Luke, Han, and Chewie clear up the mess of stormtroopers that they've just gotten rid of.
You know, between this howling and your blasting everywhere in sight, it's a wonder the whole station doesn't know we are here.
Oh yeah, bring them on. I prefer a straight fight to all this sneaking around.
We found the computer outlet, sir.
Ben, 3PO, and R2 inspect the computer panel.
Plug in, he should be able to interpret the entire Imperial computer network.
He says he's found the main computer to power the tractor beam that's holding the ship here. A power loss at one of the terminals will allow the ship to leave.
Ben studies the data on the monitor readout.
I don't think you boys can help. I must go alone.
Whatever you say. I've done more than I bargained for on this trip already.
I want to go with you.
Be patient, Luke. Stay and watch over the droids.
But he can't stay, please.
They must be delivered safely, or other star systems will suffer the same fate as Alderaan. Your destiny lies along a different path than mine. The Force will be with you always.
Amen. Ben steals down away the corridor.
Oh, the guy just knows what to say before dying, doesn't he? Boy, you said it, Chewie. Where did you dig up that old fossil?
Hey, Ben's a great man, okay?
Yeah, great at getting us into trouble.
Hey, I didn't hear you give any ideas. What is it?
I'm afraid I'm not quite sure, sir. He says, I found her. And keeps repeating, she's here, she's here, she's here.
Who? Who has he found?
Princess Leia, sir.
The princess? She's here?
क्या बहन लगती है क्या तेरी? Huh? Princess, what's going on?
Level 5, detention block A823. I'm afraid she's scheduled to be terminated.
Hey, we have to do something.
No, I'm not going anywhere.
Listen, बहुत पैसे वाली है.
Rich and all, huh? Huh.
Yeah. Rich, powerful. Listen, if you were to record, I did that. If you were to rescue her, the reward would be
what?
More paisa than you can imagine.
I mean, I don't know. I can imagine quite a bit. Would it come with a contract to not pull me back for sequels 40 years from now?
40 lakh, bro. 40 lakh. You'll get it.
I better.
You will.
All right, kid. But you better be right about this.
At the detention level entrance, Luke and Han put on their stormtrooper helmets and start off into the giant Death Star. They arrive at the detention floor and begin attacking the guards. One of the guards pushes the alarm system as he collapses. Luke races towards the princess's cell, and Han speaks into the buzzing comlink.
Everything is under control. Situation normal.
What happened?
Had a slight weapons malfunction, but everything's perfectly alright now. We're fine. We're all fine here now. Thank you. How are you?
We're sending a squad up.
Negative. We had a reactor leak here now. Give us a few minutes to lock it down. Large leak. Very dangerous.
Who is this? What is your operating number?
Han blasts the comlink.
Boring conversation anyway. Luke, we're gonna have company!
Luke blasts the doors at cell block 2187. He sees Princess Leia, and he can't help but stop and stare at her beauty.
First of all, you're my brother, but aren't you a little short to be a stormtrooper?
Luke takes his helmet off.
What? It's the uniform. It's okay. It's okay. I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm here to rescue you.
Again, my brother, but you're who?
I'm here to rescue you. I've got your R2 unit. I'm here with Ben Kenobi.
Oh, that's who I care about. Ben Kenobi, where is he?
Come.
Back on the Death Star conference room, Vader paces the room as Governor Tarkin sits at the far end of the conference table.
He is here.
Obi-Wan Kenobi? What makes you think so?
A tremor in the Force. The last time I felt it, it was in the presence of my old master.
Surely he must be dead by now.
Don't underestimate the power of the Force.
The Jedi are extinct. Their fire have gone out of the universe. You, my friend, are all that's left of their religion.
Obi-Wan is here. The Force is with him.
Whatevs. If you're right, he must not be allowed to escape.
Escape is not his plan. I must face him alone.
Okay.
Meanwhile, down the Death Star hallway, old Ben Kenobi continues snooping around and slowly starts turning off the power to the tractor beam and just generally messing stuff up as one does. After a long and gross battle with a creature in the trash compactor, Luke, Leia, and Han make their way down a hallway, removing their smelly stormtrooper uniforms. Han and Leia are not getting along. At all.
Listen, I don't know who you are or where you came from, but from now on, you do as I tell you, okay?
Look, your worshipfulness, let's get one thing straight. I take orders from one person. Me.
It's a wonder you're still alive. Will somebody get this big walking carpet out of my way?
No reward is worth this.
They follow her, moving swiftly down the deserted corridor. The gang sneaks back to the main hangar bay to find the Falcon being patrolled by several stormtroopers. Ben hurries along one of the tunnels leading to the hangar where the Falcon waits. Just before he reaches the hangar, Darth Vader steps into view at the end of the tunnel, not 10 feet away. Vader lights his saber, and Ben ignites his, and they slowly step forward.
I've been waiting for you, Obi-Wan. We meet again. At last. The circle is now complete. When I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master.
Only a master of evil, Darth.
Your powers are weak, old man.
You can't win, Darth. If you strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine.
Their lightsabers continue to meet in combat. Meanwhile, Han and Chewbacca manage to slip away from the trooper and return to the hangar bay. Their weapons in hand, they watch the stormtroopers make their rounds of the hangar.
Is the ship alright?
Seems alright. If we can get to it, just hope the old man got the tractor beam out of commission.
Vader and Kenobi continue their powerful duel. Stormtroopers look on with interest as they fight. Suddenly, Luke spots the battle from his group's vantage point.
Luke!
Luke, Leia, Han, and Chewie look up and see Ben and Vader emerging from the hallways on the other side.
Come on, R2. We're going.
3PO and R2-D2 duck out of sight as the stormtroopers who are guarding the Falcon rush past them, heading towards the duel. Solo, Chewie, Luke, and Leia tensely watch. Han sees that the Falcon is unguarded.
Now's our chance! Go, go, go!
They rush towards the Falcon. Ben sees the stormtroopers charging towards him and realizes that he's trapped. He looks over his shoulder at Luke and smiles faintly. He lifts his sword from Vader's and then watches his opponent with a serene look on his face. Vader brings his sword down, seemingly cutting old Ben in half. But Ben's cloak falls to the floor. Ben is not in the damn cloak. He's frickin' vanished. Vader is puzzled at Ben's disappearance because clearly he doesn't know a damn thing about how the Force works, and pokes at the empty cloak. The stormtroopers turn towards Luke and begin firing at him as he fends them off. The droids are already moving up the ramp into the Falcon. Solo joins Luke in the laser fire. Vader advances to them.
First of all, you met him like 4 days ago. Second of all, come on!
Come on, Luke! It's too late! Come on!
Run, Luke, run.
Luke looks around to see where the voice came from. It's a frickin' ghost! He runs into the Falcon. Back on the Millennium Falcon, in the cockpit, Han pulls back on the controls and the ship begins to move. The dull thud of laser bolts bouncing off the outside of the Falcon as Chewie adjusts his controls.
I hope the old man got that tractor beam out of commission, or this is gonna be a real short trip. Okay, hit it!
They jump into light speed. The Falcon powers away from the Death Star. They're pursued by several TIE fighters. But the TIEs are no match for the old hunk of junk speed, and the victorious Falcon moves off majestically into space. Back on the Death Star's control room, Darth Vader strides in. Darth Vader strides in? Okay. Where Tarkin is watching the huge view screen. A sea of stars is before him.
Are they away?
They have just made the jump into hyperspace.
You're sure the homing beacon is secure aboard their ship? I'm taking an awful risk, Vader. This had better bloody work.
Yeah.
That's what it says. Inside the Millennium Falcon cockpit, Han is smiling at the controls of the ship. Chewie moves into the aft section to check the damage.
Not a bad bit of rescuing, huh? You know, sometimes I even amaze myself.
That doesn't sound too hard. Besides, they let us go. It's the only explanation for the ease of our escape.
Easy? You call that easy?
Yeah, they're tracking us.
Not this ship, sister.
At least the information in R2 is still intact.
What's so important? What is he carrying?
The technical readouts of that battle station we just escaped. I only hope that when the data is analyzed, a weakness can be found. It's not over yet.
It is for me, sister. Look, I ain't in this for your revolution, and I'm not in it for you, princess. I expect to be well paid. I'm in it for the...
You needn't worry about your reward. If money is all that you love, then that's what you'll receive.
She angrily turns, and as she starts out of the cockpit, she passes Luke coming in.
Your friend is quite a mercenary. I wonder if he really cares about anything or anyone.
I care.
You're my brother.
Leia leaves in a huff. Luke, shaking his head, sits in the co-pilot seat. He and Han stare out at the vast blackness of space.
Hey. So what do you think of her, huh?
I'm trying not to, kid.
Good.
Still, she's got a lot of spirit. I don't know. What do you think? Huh? I mean, you think that, like, a princess and a guy like me...
No.
Luke says it with finality.
No.
And looks away. Han smiles at young Luke's jealousy.
Turkey.
On the fourth moon of Yavin, the battered Millennium Falcon flies into the Rebel base. Leia hands over the Death Star plans to the Rebel Alliance leader, Dodona, and warns them of the homing beacon placed on the Falcon. The Death Star starts making its way towards Yavin, following the homing beacon, and the Rebels meet to plan their counteroffensive. Inside the Masasi war room briefing area, Dodona and Leia stand before a large electronic wall display, ready to brief the room filled with star pilots, navigators, and protocol droids on the counteroffensive.
The battle station is heavily shielded and carries a firepower greater than half the star fleet. But a small one-man fighter should be able to penetrate the outer defense.
Gold Leader stands and addresses Dodona.
Pardon me for asking, sir, but what good are small fighters going to be against that?
Well, the Empire doesn't consider a small one-man fighter to be of any threat. My analysis of the plans provided by Princess Leia has demonstrated a weakness in the battle station. The approach will not be easy, you are required to maneuver straight down the trench and skim the surface to this point. The target area is only 2 meters wide. It's a small thermal exhaust port, right below the main port. The shaft leads directly to the reactor system. A precise hit will start a chain reaction which should destroy the station.
A murmur of disbelief runs through the room. I said a murmur of disbelief runs through the room. Surely this is not a contrived plot device that will take several decades to explain.
Many minor anthology characters died to get us this information. I would name them, but that movie hasn't been made yet. Only a precise hit will set up a chain reaction. You'll have to use photon torpedoes. Those are the best.
That's impossible, even for a computer.
It's not impossible. You know, I used to bullseye bomb rats in my T-16 back home. They're not bigger than 2 meters.
Man your ships, and may the force.
In the Death Star conference room, Tarkin and Vader are at the computer. 30 minutes till the rebel base is in range of the Death Star. They watch the screen like they're tracking your Zomato order.
This will be a day long remembered. It has seen the end of Kenobi, and it will soon see the end of the rebellion.
Back in the Musashi outpost main hangar deck, the rebel pilots are getting ready to attack the Death Star. Han is leaving, deliberately ignoring the activity of the fighter pilots' preparations. Luke is quite saddened at the sight of his best friend's departure.
So, got your reward and then you're leaving out.
Wow, you get attached to people quick. Like, wow! That's right, yeah. I got some old debts I've got to pay off with this stuff. Even if I didn't, you don't think I'd be fool enough to stick around here, do you? Why don't you come with us? You're pretty good in a fight. I could use you.
Come on, man. Just take a look around. You know what's going to happen? Do you know what they're up against? They could use a good pilot like you. You're turning your back on them.
Yeah, well, what good's a reward if you ain't around to use it, kid? Besides, attacking that battle station ain't my idea of courage. It's more like suicide.
All right, well, take care of yourself then. I guess that's what you're best at, isn't it?
Luke goes off, but Han hesitates and then calls back to him.
Hey, Luke. May the Force be with you.
Luke turns and sees Han winking at him. That's weird. Luke lifts his hand in a small wave and then goes off. Han turns to Chewie, who says, that.
What are you looking at? I know what I'm doing.
All final preparations are made for the approaching battle. As Luke powers up his X-Wing, he hears a familiar voice.
Luke, the Force will be with you.
This guy again. Yeah. But Luke is confused at the voice and taps his headphones. The fleet of A-Wings, X-Wings, and Y-Wing bombers reach the Death Star. Those letters are also my first guess in Wordle. In the exterior of the Death Star orbit.
All wings report in. Lock S-files in attack position. Accelerate to attack speed. This is it, boys.
Did you say S-files?
Yes.
As the fighters move closer to the Death Star, its awesome size is revealed, and the battle begins. In the Death Star hallways, the battle rages as walls buckle and they cave in. Troopers and equipment are blown in all directions. Stormtroopers stagger out of the rubble. Standing in the middle of the chaos, a vision of calm and foreboding, is Darth Vader. One of his officers rush in.
We count 30 rebel ships, Lord Vader, but they are so small they are evading our turbo lasers.
We'll have to destroy them ship to ship. Get the crews to their fighters.
Scores of TIE fighters emerge and attack the rebel fleet, plowing through them. 3 TIE fighters dive toward the Death Star surface. Darth Vader is in the middle ship, hot on the heels of the few remaining rebel fighters.
Stay in attack formation. I'll take them myself. Cover me.
Gold Leader explodes in a ball of flames, throwing debris in all directions. Red Leader makes a failed attempt at firing his proton torpedoes into the exhaust pod and bugs the hell out of them. Back in the Death Star conference room, Grand Moff Tarkin and an officer stand in the Death Star's controls.
We've analyzed that attack, sir. and there's a danger. Should I have your ship standing by?
Evacuate? In a moment of triumph? Excuse me, I think you overestimate their chances.
On the Death Star trench run, lasers are flung from Vader's TIE fighter, connecting with Red Leader's X-Wing. Red Leader buys it in a tremendous explosion. Luke looks out of the window of his X-Wing at the explosion far below, and for the first time he feels the helplessness of the situation.
R2, try and increase the power.
Luke concentrates on his targeting computer. He looks into the device and then hears a spooky voice.
Use the Force, Luke.
Luke looks up, and then he starts to look back into the targeting device. He has second thoughts.
Let go, Luke.
A grim determination sweeps across Luke's face as he closes his eyes and starts to mumble Ben's training to himself. Luke's fighter streaks through the trench. Darth Vader observes Luke's moves. Most impressive.
The Force is strong with this one.
Luke looks to the targeting device and then hesitates as he hears Ben's voice once again.
Luke, trust me.
Luke decides to trust the guy who took him away from home and then literally ghosted him. His hand reaches for the control panel and presses the button to switch off the targeting computer. Meanwhile, Vader fires at Luke's ship. A large burst of laser fire engulfs R2. The droid goes limp as he shrieks.
I've lost R2!
Back inside the Death Star control room, Tarkin glares at the projected target screen.
Rebel base in range.
You may fire when ready.
Commence primary ignition.
An officer reaches up and pushes buttons on the control panel as the green lighted buttons turn to red as the Death Star slowly powers up. Back in the trench run, the chase between Darth and Luke is on. Luke's ship barrels down the trench. Vader takes careful aim on Luke's X-Wing fighter.
I have you now.
Vader fires on Luke's X-Wings. The 3 TIE fighters move in on Luke as Vader's center fire unleashes a volley of lasers. The ships next to him explode into flames out of nowhere. Vader is taken by surprise and looks out from his cockpit. His ship gets hit by debris from the destroyed TIE fighters.
What?
The Millennium Falcon heads right at the TIE fighter. It's a collision course. Vader's ship spins out of control.
You're all clear, kid! Now let's blow this thing and go home!
Luke looks up and smiles. He concentrates on the exhaust port and fires his proton torpedoes. The shots find their mark and have gone into the exhaust port and are heading for the main reactor.
Great shot, kid! That was 1 in a million!
The rebel ships race out of sight, leaving the moon-like Death Star alone with a blanket of stars. Several small flashes appear on the surface and the Death Star bursts into a supernova, creating a spectacular, heavenly display.
Remember, the Force will be with you. Always.
Vader's ship spins off into space. The rebel ships race towards the 4th moon of Yavin victorious. Back in the Mos Eisley Outpost main hangar, Luke climbs out of a starship fighter and is cheered by a throng of ground crew and pilots. Princess Leia rushes in.
Luke!
Hey!
I knew you'd come back. I just knew it.
Well, I wasn't gonna let you get all the credit and take all the reward.
Hey, I knew there was more to you than money.
Oh no.
Oh my, R2, can you hear me? Say something. You can repair him, can't you?
We'll get to work on him right away.
You must repair him, sir. If any of my circuits or gears will help, I'll gladly donate them.
He'll be all right.
In the Mos Eisley Outpost throne room, Luke, Han, and Chewbacca enter the huge ruins of the main temple. Hundreds of troops are lined up in neat rows. Banners are flying, and at the far end stands a vision in white, the beautiful young Senator Leia. Luke and the others solemnly march up the long aisle and kneel before Senator Leia. From one side of the temple marches a shined up and fully repaired R2. He waddles up to the group and stands next to an equally pristine 3PO, who is rather awestruck by the whole event. The heroes are being given medals, except Chewie for some dumb reason. As they all smile at each other, we hear everyone's thoughts.
I'm gonna try and ditch this franchise in the next movie.
Wow. I've really come ahead in life. Yeah, this is the rise of Skywalker.
We've got to get more women in this movie.
Should I tell them I know all these guys already?
Why did I call myself Ben?
Why did Ben call me Darth?
What kind of title is Grand Moff?
My name is General Dodona. I bet you didn't know that.
And with that, we come to the end of our little story. Finn! I said Finn is the name of a character that we'll meet later. This, though, is the end of the story. Thank you very much. Can we get another round of applause for all these guys? And another round of applause to the secret sauce of Star Wars, I mean these guys. Cool. May the force be with you.